why we are using this application Tricentis Tosca, as it is a license application, but still why there is so much of demand in market. Okay, why the people are giving preference to Tricentis Tosca, even though we are having some open source tool in the market, but still the people are giving preference to this tool. Okay, so we will going to discuss all this topic. Okay, so what is automated automation testing? What is Tosca? What are the different features? Okay, why to opt for Tosca? And we will just do the comparison with Selenium. Okay, we are not going to compare with all the tools. So what extra we are getting in Tosca? Okay, so Tosca stand for Topological Orchestration Specification for Cloud Applications. So we are having a definition of this one, and Tosca is a scriptless tool. So you don't have to learn any programming language as a prerequisite. Like if you want to go with Selenium or Protector, Puppeteer, or any automation tool, then first you have to go with the languages. That can be a Java, or you have to opt for JavaScript, okay, Python, any language. For this one, there is a no prerequisite, so you don't have to learn any automation script for that. Okay, and by using Tosca, you will be able to automate the web-based application, desktop application, API applications, then we have a database, we have a SAP applications. Okay, all those we will going to cover. Okay, so Tosca is using some AI functionality to recognize the identifying the element on a web page uniquely. So we're going to see that as well. So we're going to see the integration with a CI/CD tool, that will be Jenkins. How to execute your test cases using Jenkins. Okay. And apart from that, we will able to see some few of the test data management tools. Okay. So test data management through Tosca, as well as we have some Excel. If you have a data in Excel format or you want to access some CSV file, even you can do that as well. And apart from that, we have a test data services. So test data services is a server based architecture it is having, and it will going to provide, like if you are executing your test cases on a multiple machines and you want that data should be present globally. Okay, so in that scenario, we will going to use the test data services. Okay, so we will going to see in details. Then why to choose Tosca? Like I have an application and I want to test end-to-end scenario. So it will include the API. So there will be a API. You have to fetch the data and you have to verify that okay, data is getting properly ingested to the database. So you want to do the database testing as well, or you want to fetch some data from API or database and put it that data in your application. Okay, so all those testing you can perform using Tosca. Or if you opt for some open source tool, then like for UI, you have to opt for the Selenium or any other automation tool. Or if you want to go with API testing, you have to use Postman or REST Assured or some other application tool. Or if you want to go with the database, you have to opt for JDBC connection you have to do, and then you can do the testing using a Java. Okay, but in case of Tosca, under Tosca, you will going to get all the functionality in a single umbrella. Okay, so that's why there is a demand of Tosca. So using a single tool, we will be able to automate all the scenarios. Okay, so these are the advantages of Tosca. So it's the scriptless tool. Okay, you don't have to learn anything, and it is having a very good UI. So it is a user friendly application. All the section will be divided in a proper format so that you won't get any confusion. Okay, less framework writing, so you don't have to write any framework or something like that. Like if you are opting for Selenium, you have to go with a BDD framework, then you have a page object model, then you have data driven framework. But Tosca is following only one framework pattern, that is a module based architecture. Okay, so we will going to see that as well. Okay, then we have a high reliability. High reliability means once you are able to create the modules, you will be able to use it anywhere. Okay, in n number of test cases you can use it. Then we have a searching solution with TQL and SQL language. So you can, if you are having 100 of test cases and you want to perform certain search operation, okay, so using a Tosca SQL query language, you can do that. So that is called as a TQL. Okay, and these are the key features which we are having. A Vision AI, which will going to help us to scan the module. Then we have a model based architecture, risk management is there, service visualization is there. Then we have a test data management. We have a distributed execution, like I want my test cases to be executed. You are having 3 to 400 test cases, and you want that to be distributed among the server agent machine. So you can execute your test cases on a multiple machine using the server agent configuration. Okay, then we have a API scan, and then we have a, even we can do the mobile testing as well. Okay,
So
just
Sandeep,
give me a
just
second.
question.
Hello, yeah, Atul. Yeah, you were saying something.
Yeah, I just had one small question. You said distributed execution. Is it the same as or as DEX?
Yes, that is called as a Dex run.
Okay. Yeah, I see a lot of openings on that. I mean, they are specifically asking for that
Yes.
experience with DEX. Thank you.
Okay, so there are some different advantages of Tosca as well, because this is not compatible with other operating system. Okay, like Mac or Linux. So it is only compatible with Windows application. Oh, sorry, Windows OS. Okay, so you need a Windows operating system to execute your test cases. Okay, this is one of the disadvantage. Then difficult modules, like you are performing a scanning and then that module is not properly scanned. Like there are some ways we have to make sure that using that way only you will be able to scan the modules. Okay, if you are not scanning the modules properly, then maybe on the second execution may it will going to get failed. Okay, then we have a significant maintenance issue, like on the basis of the model architecture. So as we don't have any other module, apart from the model based architecture, we don't have anything else. Okay, another other architecture is not there, so we won't be able to continue with other architecture. So you have to, only one model architecture is there, so you have to follow that only. Okay, and some integrations issues are also there, because we won't be able to, as this is a paid version, so for every integration you have to pay the licensing fees. Like if you want to connect with Jira, or you want to connect with some other integration tools, so there is a tool called as a task top. It will going to provide you the integration, but that will going to cost you something. Okay, okay, so these are some few comparison from Selenium, like how the Tosca is better from other testing tools. So types of applications, Tosca support all types of application, which I already discussed with you. Like you can go with web, SAP, UI, non-UI, like API or something like that. You can automate almost all the application using Tosca. But in case of Selenium, only web UI will be able to automate. That's it. So it's a freeware. Selenium is a freeware open source tool. Okay, but Tosca is a licensing tool. And the automation type, so it is following a model based architecture, and it is following a different code based architecture like behavior driven data testing, or you can have page object model. Okay, all those. So scripting is not required in case of Tosca. In case of Selenium, you have to opt for any scripting tool like Java, Python, C, C++, in whichever you are comfortable with. Okay, we can perform the API testing, but in Selenium, the API testing is not feasible. Okay, then we have a test management. So there are internal tools like test case design section. Then we have TCD, all those which will help us to provide the data to our application. But in case of Selenium, it is not. Okay, so you can perform the CI/CD integration with this and all. And the last will be your support. So if you are not able to perform any activities or you are stuck somewhere, so the Tricentis, you just have to raise a ticket, and Tricentis will going to help you in that. You just have to raise a ticket and they will going to try to resolve the ticket. But in case of Selenium, it is a open source tool, so you have to just do some R&D and go. There are some community, you can go to that and you can get the help from there. But they will not going to sure shot provide you the solution. Okay, any questions up till now? Anyone is having any questions, please let me know.
Samir, to work on the Tosca, we need like free version of the software, right? So, but that is only available for 14 days. So
It
how?
will be
Hmm,
the free licensing will be provided to you for 60 days.
60 days. Okay.
Okay, so in that duration only we will be able to finish it off all the session, and you can opt for the certification as well.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
and if it get expired, you can create a new email ID. Okay, we will going to create a dummy mail ID, and on the basis of that only we will be able to get the licensing, so you don't have to worry about the license part.
Okay. One more question. Is all like a certification on the Tricentis website? Are those all free, or whether we have to pay for that?
Yeah, most of them are free, and some of them you have to get enrolled. Okay, so once you get into the organization, then you can opt for this, because only the partnership, those who are having a partnership with Tricentis Tosca, they
Mhm.
only can complete the certification. Okay, but are most of the certifications are free. You can opt for basic AS1 and AS2 are free. You can opt for those, and that will going to add a weightage to your resume.
No, you said some organization has collaboration with them, but
Yeah, like
if our
Infosys,
mm,
yeah, the Infosys, HSBC, LTI, Mindtree, Wipro, all these are partner with Accenture. All these are partner of Tricentis. So once you log in with their conventional mail ID, so it will be absolutely free for you.
oh, okay. No,
Okay,
if there is no collaboration with this Tricentis for my company, so can I not go for the certification?
you can opt for the certification as well.
Okay, but it might be the paid one.
No, you don't have to pay. You can go with the basic one. Okay, so
Okay.
these are the certification which will be free. You can see, you just have to opt for these are the certification which are free of cost.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, you can see this is a free. Just you have to register with your mail ID, and you can sign in and you can opt for this certification.
Yeah, AS1, AS2 already have did it.
Yeah. So AS1, AS2, and even AE1 and TDS1 and TDS2, you can do that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, anything else apart from this?
Actually, I have one question.
Yeah, please.
For training version is also for 60 days only. Tricentis Tosca license version.
The license version will be of 60 days only. It is a free trial license. Okay.
Okay, after
So
that we have to pay.
after that, you have to enroll with a new mail ID, and then you can use that.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
But just one more thing, for enrolling new email ID, that has to be official, no? With personal IDs, we are not able to log in. I mean, register.
On No, that is not the case. You can create a temporary mail ID and you can use that. You don't have to go with the official mail ID. Okay. Anything else you want to ask? Anyone is having any more queries? Please let me know. Okay, so if we don't have any more queries, so what we can do, we can go with our application. Okay, so mostly we will going to deal with these 5 to 6 steps. Okay, so in this section, this is a blue section. Over here, we will going to design our test cases. Okay, so under your folder, you will be able to design all the test cases. Okay, so we will going to see in details how we can design it and all. I'm just going to explain you the section which we have. Okay, then we have a module section. So under module section, we have some standard modules which are provided by Tricentis itself. So you just have to, at the time of repository creation, you can just enable this one and it will going to appear in your module section. And you can see these are the standard modules you can use. So if you want to perform certain activities of a Windows application, like you want to take a screenshot, you want to perform some Windows application, maximize, minimize scrolling behavior and all. Okay, you want to save some dialog box, you can do that. And we have a buffer operation. So in buffer operations, what you can do, you can just save the values in some variable, like you are fetching some value from Excel and you want to save it in some variable. So you can do that. So we're going to see this in detail. Okay, so these are the standard modules which will help us to do the automation. Okay, you don't have to create all these modules. Then we will go with the T-box engine. Under this one, you will be able to see all the applications. So most of the applications are present. Okay, like I want to do, like I want to open the URL. Okay, so you have to go with the open URL, or I want to close the browser. So you can use these standard modules. You don't have to create it. Okay, or else I want to perform some file operations. So you can use that as well. Or you want to do some Excel manipulation like reading a data or writing a data to Excel. So you're going to use this as well. Okay, or you want to do some PDF kind of comparison. Two PDFs will be there and you want to perform the comparison. You can do that as well. Okay, so these are the T-box engine, and you want to perform like mainframe testing kind of thing, you can use these modules. Okay, so we will going to see all these in detail. Now we have a test data services. So in test data services, so your data will be present globally. Okay, there will be a TOSCA server which will be installed on your machine. Okay, so this will going to provide you the data. So this is the test data management. You can see it over here. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to just add your data over here, and this data can be fetched in any of the test cases. So use a sample of this one. Okay, so these are the data. If you want to add some data, okay, import some data, just you have to click it import, and you have to select the file. Okay, and we're going to add the data over here. And if you want to go with some samples, so you can just click on the sample, so you can add the sample data over here. Okay, and we're going to see how we can paste the data and all from this. So this data will be present globally. You can use it wherever is required, because in case of Excel, what will happen? So it will going to access your Excel file, and on only a single user at a time can access your, or a machine can access your file. If we are, if other application is accessing, try to access that particular Excel file, shared file, so you will get an error. Okay, just to overcome all these issues, so Tosca has come up with a test data services. So over here you can add n number of data over here, and you can even if the multiple machines are accessing this data, same data at a time, it will not going to create any conflict over here. Okay, so that is, we're going to create a data into the test data services. We're going to search the data, we're going to update the data. All this can be performed using the test data services. Okay, then we have a requirement section. So under requirement section, this section will be mostly used by the product owners. So they will going to put the frequency class, damage class. This will going to get the weightage and all, and they will going to calculate the risk associated to your test cases. Okay, so these are mostly handled by product owners, a BA. Then we have a test case design section. So if you have already have a data and you want to perform some permutation and combination with some data. Okay, yeah, like I want to perform some combination like this. Okay, I want with Audi scooter, these values I want to create a permutation and combination, so you can even do that as well. So this sheet will be going to use as a reference when we are creating our framework. So this data will be passed in our framework, and according to this data only your test cases will be created. Okay, so we will going to see this in detail, how we can create a different kind of sheet which include all combination, where we have to use the orthogonal, pairwise, linear, all those we will see, and how to create the combination of all this. Okay, so once you are done, then you have to execute your test cases. So under execution, you just have to create execution list, and over there you can just drag and drop your test cases over here. Okay, so under this one you will be able to see all the test cases whatever, and you have to do the execution. Once the execution is done, you can extract the report. Just do a right click, print on the report, and it will going to give you the report. So it will going to ask you in which format you want to get the report. So you can opt for these many formats, you can see. Okay, so I will going to prefer the PDF one and click on okay. Okay, so in this way it will going to give you the details in a PDF format. It will going to give you the overview, how many test cases are getting passed, how many getting failed, okay, and how many of them have not yet executed. And apart from that, they will going to give you pie chart and all. Okay, so you can see. So right now it will going to give you the error logs. So by which error your test cases are getting failed, you can get all those details. Okay, so we're going to see all these in details about the reporting and all. And then we have a scratch book. So under scratch book, if you are executing something, okay, like you want to check, this is kind of a playground for you as a dry run. If you want to check that okay, my particular module which I have created, it is working or not, so you have to opt for the scratch book over here. Okay, then we have a issues. So in issues we have to create a, like you have your test cases got failed and you have to create a bug and all. Okay, but like URL is not working or some enhancement will be there, you can create a bug and link it to your execution list. Like when someone is getting reviewed your execution list, they will get to know that okay, all these issues are already associated to that. Okay, so these are the things we will going to cover under these sections. Anyone is having any issue, please let me know. Anyone is having any questions related to the section, which section is providing what, or you are not able to understand anything related to the section? Anyone?
Samir, I have one question. Can we integrate this Tosca with the DevOps?
Yeah, we can do that. So you can do the integration with Azure DevOps.
As well? Will you be able to show that one here or?
No, so Azure DevOps is a licensing one, so we won't be able to do that.
Okay, but
Okay,
at least setting how we can do that. So
so
we have.
we will going to cover the CI/CD one.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to cover the CI/CD part, how to do the integration with CI/CD tool.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Okay, anything else?
The modules tab, in that we have to just use the existing modules. We cannot create new modules, right?
We have to create a new module. These are the standard modules which are providing by TOSCA. So
Okay.
only the standard modules you can use it up to certain limit. Okay, like I want to automate some application. Mm, okay, so you have to automate this page. Okay, this is your application. So Tricentis will not going to provide you with these modules. Okay, you have to create your own. What they can do, they will going to provide you open URL, close URL. Okay, that kind of thing.
Okay, but for drop down and text boxes, I mean, there is a standard format to follow in that module.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you how we can do the automation of this. Okay. Apart from that, any more questions you have? Anyone is having any questions, please let me know. Or else we will move ahead to our next topic.
Samir, one question. I already have installed this Tosca, the free
Mhm.
version, and I already use some free licenses for 3-4 times. So will I be able to use this license version in that?
You just have to create a fresh temporary email ID, and using that you can do that.
Okay.
So we will going to cover that as well in the licensing part.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so now what I will do, I will just going to simply automate this application. Okay, and let's see how it works. So for that, what I will do, I will simply go to the test section, and over there I will going to create my folder. Okay, so if you have any, okay, let me remove all this. Okay, this is my test case section, and I have just checked out this folder. I will going to create a new test case over here with the name vehicle insurance. Okay, now the first thing will be I have to launch the browser. So for launching a browser, we already have a standard module. So I will go to my Tbox engine, go to my HTML, and over there I already have a open URL modules. Okay, so I will just drag and drop it over here. Okay, now what I will do, I will going to add the URL. So whatever URL you want to invoke, just copy that and paste it over here. Okay. Now if I execute this one, so let's see if it is working or not. So just even you can test a single module as well. So just I will do a right click and click on the run in Scratch view just to verify that whatever module I have added is working or not. Okay, now you can see the browser has invoked and it is able to open the URL. Okay, but it is getting invoked in the Firefox browser because this is my default browser. But my requirement is it should open in Edge or Chrome or something like that. So for that, what you have to do, you have to go to your test case level and you will going to get this test configuration. So I will just do a right click and click on the create configuration parameter. So under configuration parameter, I will going to select browser over here and you will get all those options. So these are the browser which is compatible with your application. So I will go with Edge. Okay. Now if I execute this one, if I execute my test cases again, it should get invoked in Edge. Let the execution gets started. Okay, so execution has begun, and now you can see my tabs are getting opened in a Edge browser because I have added a configuration as a Edge. Okay, so that the way you can change your browser and you can do cross browser testing. And if I expand this, you will be able to see that okay, this is getting checked means this step is getting passed. Okay, now I have just opened the URL, that's it. Now I have to perform the activity over here. Like I have to select the values, I have to click on the link, okay, and I have to select all those values. So for that I have to scan this module. So for doing that, what I have to do, I have to just go to my module section. Okay, don't make any changes to this standard modules. I will going to create a another folder. So I will going to use this folder over here. Let me remove. Okay, let it be. Let me create another folder over here. And I will going to add the folder over here. Let like TOSCA demo. And just do a right click over here and you will get a option to scan. Now click on application. So it will going to automatically scan all the applications which are opened over here. Okay, so it will going to give you options. Let's close all the remaining applications. So in my system, whatever application is available, it will going to show you. Okay. Now I will go with this one, enter vehicle data and just You can click on scan, or even you can double click on this one, so it will go to scan it. So what Tosca will do is will automatically scan all the component, whatever component we have over here. It will going to scan all the component by default. You can see all the drop down, text, link, all those are appearing over here. But I don't want to create unnecessary module. Okay, whatever I am required, so I will going to add that only. I'm not going to create unnecessary attributes. So what I will do, I will just click on this select on screen, and then I will go with, like, I want to select this link. So you can see automatically that link is getting added. Now I want to verify this. Okay, motorcycle insurance, so that will get added. Now I want to go with a drop down. All those drop downs should be added. So just hover on that particular element and it will going to give you an icon. Then only you have to click it. Okay. We go with, okay. Oh, I think something happened to this. Okay, I think my system is getting hanged. Okay, okay, let me close the unnecessary thing which is not required. Okay, let me refresh this one, and again we will going to scan the modules. Okay, again the scanning will going to start. So I'm going to select this application again. Now again I will going to click on select on screen and quickly select all the components. Okay, so I'm able to create all the modules. Okay, let me add this one as well. Okay, and now what you can do, you can just click on this save button to save the modules, or else you can do a control S. So I will going to click on this save button, and now my module will be ready to use. Okay, so once this is getting saved, I will going to close the scanner. Okay, as you can see, there is a notification module saved successfully. So I will going to close it, and now I will going to use that module. So if I go to the module section, expand this folder, you can see my module is created. I will just going to drag and drop it in my test cases, and over here I will going to perform a click. Then I will going to select all those values, or the so automatically all the values, whatever component will be under that drop down, it will going to populate it over here. This is a text. You can provide some text over here. This is a date, so we can right now we can hard code the value. Okay, so slash 09/2023, number of values 1, list price something random, and you can click this one. If you just want to check that okay this component is working or not, you can do right click and just execute this one, and let's see if it is working or not. So execution is started. Let's see if it is able to click on this link. Okay, it is able to click on this link, and now it will going to enter all the values whatever you have added. Okay, I think annual mileage we have not selected. So by this way, your test cases will going to get completed. It will going to take some time to process it. So once the processing will get complete, it will going to show you in a scratchbook. Okay, you have executed this, and all the steps are getting passed. Now what I have to do, I have to do a verification. Like I want to, when I'm clicking on this any of the insurance, so accordingly your insurance is getting selected. So if I'm clicking on the motorcycle, so it should be a motorcycle insurance that I need to verify. So for that, what I have to do, I will go to my module section in my test case, and over here I will select inner text. So I will going to verify that this is the text or not, and the action mode should be a verify. Instead of input, it should be verify, because we have to verify this text is appearing or not. So let me rerun this again. Click on the motorcycle. Now it will going to verify motorcycle insurance, and then it is going to enter the values. Okay, let's check if it is able to verify correctly or not. If I expand this one, you will be able to see under the log info, verification was successful. What was the expectation? This was the expectation, and actual what we are getting this. So this is getting matched and your test case is getting passed. Okay, let's make it as an invalid and let's see if it is able to fail or not. So it should get failed because it is not able to do the verification properly. So in this case, it will be failed. Okay, now you can see your test case get executed, but it will going to show you overall as a failure. Okay, and let me go back and check why it is getting failed. So under this one, you are getting a failure. Other attributes are working fine. So if I expand this one, you can see. So E is missing. We were expecting this insurance, but E was missing. Due to that, your text is not matching and there is a failure. Okay. So by this way, we can scan all the modules and all, and there are different ways to scan the modules. We are going to see that in details. Right now, I'm just using my ID. Okay. Any questions up till now? Quickly.
One thing, while executing, we always have to execute through Scratchbook to check the
So
logs.
yeah. So just for your info, like I have created a module and now I want to verify that okay that module which I have created it is working or not. So you can use a scratchbook. Okay. And when you are executing your whole test cases, you have to go to your execution list and over here you have to add your test cases. So just check out create execution list over here and under this one you have to add your test cases. So just drag and drop your test cases over here and execute it over here. So it will going to give you the logs because in scratchbook it will going to once you log out of the application it will going to erase all the data whatever you have executed. So if you want to keep the logs you have to execute under execution list. Okay, that will going to save the logs so that in future if you want to extract the report or you want to see the logs you can use that. So scratchbook will be only used to just to check that okay your functionality which you are automating it is working on it. It's kind of a dry run.
Mhm.
Okay. So earlier was due to that text difference, my text was getting filled. Okay, if I go to Tosca and you will be able to see that okay there is a failure, and if you expand this, you will be able to see the logs as well. And if you are executing multiple times, so all the logs will with the date and time it will going to get added over here. Okay, if I make this as a key and if I go again and execute this one. Okay, my text will get passed over here and you will get a new logs over here. This is the pass one, and it will going to take the result of the latest one. So if you have a failure one, it will going to take the latest. Okay, so you can get n number of logs over here, and when it was getting passed, when it was getting failed at multiple execution, you can do the verifications over here. If I execute this one, now it is getting passed. Earlier it was getting failed, and why it was getting failed? Due to this. So all the logs will be getting added over here. When you are using a scratchbook after execution, once you log out of the application, it will not going to save the details. So that's the difference between the scratchbook and the executions. Okay, anything else apart from this? Anyone? Okay, so I will take it as a no. Okay, now I will going to get the test case. Oh, okay, I will go with the API. Okay, I will going to show you how the APIs are working. Okay, so under this you have a request and the response part. Okay, let me yeah, so I will going to execute. This is the request and the response. I will make a request and I will get a response, and I will going to validate it is working correctly or not. You can see I have to verify all these are working fine or not. So I will just going to execute this one, and let's see. So this way we can automate the API as well. So we are going to see all these in details. Okay, right now I'm just showing you what are the testing we can perform. So it will going to get failed because there is some mismatch in the data. Okay, so why there is a failure? You're going to see in logs. Okay. Yeah, so it is able to successfully make the request, and when it get a response under the verification, you can see the last name is not getting matched. So we were expecting Ferguson, but I'm getting a Lawson. So because of that, it is getting failed. So by this way, you can use the API to automate all your API scenarios. Okay. Any questions on this one? This will going to go hand in hand. You have to execute both the modules, then only it will going to work. You can't execute a single module. Okay. If you make a request, just a request, and you are not executing this one, so how you will going to get the response? So you have to execute both the modules simultaneously. Okay. Yeah, so, someone was saying something.
Yes, I'm Atul here. So before going for this that API, so we have to provide this authentication details, right, to connect with
Yeah, we
the
will go. Yeah, we will going to go in
our.
detail when we are covering all this. Okay, so we
Okay.
already have those. I go to this repo. This is the post request. Okay, and over here under modules, we have a authorization. So we have added a authorization over here to make the request. Okay, so we will going to cover that in detail.
Okay.
Post post. Yeah, this one. So for this one, we have already added a authorization over here at making the request. So you can see authorization. So over here, you can pass this is the bearer token.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to cover that as well, how to pass the bearer token and all to make the request.
Thanks.
Okay, any more questions you have?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Okay, so I don't want to extend too much. Okay, so last we can just I will do the execution. Now we will go to design our framework in such way. So this will single module will not going to work. Okay, so in organization level we have to design our test cases in a this format. You can see over here. This is my test case and this is the template and n number of test cases I can create it. Okay, so if I execute this one, let's see how this will going to work. Okay, the execution gets started. So it will open the dialog box and add the JPG file. We're going to select the premium. And it will going to wait for this pop-up to appear. We'll click on OK and it will close the browser. Okay, this is my end-to-end testing. So all the steps are getting passed over here. You can see the test case is usually divided into three sections. Precondition. In precondition, it will going to launch my browser and all. Then we have a workflow. Under workflow, we have a different tabs. So all the tabs are categorized into a folder structure. And then we have a post condition when we will going to close the browser. So this way you have to design your framework, and all the data from all this will be getting passed from where it will be get passed from your test case design section. Okay, so if I go to and your schema definition, so it will going to give me that okay, using this test sheet all the data are getting passed. I'm not hard coding any value in my test cases. Okay, so whatever value you will going to select it from here, it will going to get updated over there. So let me do a check out this one. If I go to the test sheet and going ahead, like if I want to change this value, instead of Audi, I want to go with Ford or something else, just you have to select the values over here and it will going to get reflected in your test cases. You don't have to do any changes in your test cases. Okay, so if you're creating n number of values over here, test cases, instances, so accordingly your n number of test cases will get created. Right now I'm having only two instances, you can see. So only two test cases are getting created over here under the template. Okay, so by this way you can create n number of test cases in a single shot. So we're going to see this in detail when we are designing a framework from scratch. Okay, and apart from all these, we will going to cover the SAP automation as well, because this is having a more demand in market, because SAP is Tricentis Tosca is providing a free license to the SAP application, and because of that only, all the SAP applications are getting automated using Tosca. Okay, so there is a huge demand in market for SAP automation. So if I execute this one, So it is able to invoke the application, SAP application, and now it will going to select the value, and it will going to enter the values over here. Okay, so we're going to see the SAP automation as well. Okay, any questions up till now?
Yeah, one question. As you said, we can create multiple test cases. So
Yeah.
how do we link the first test case with the second if you want it in flow?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Like we'll have 5 test cases, but I want to
Mhm.
interconnect the first test case with the second. I mean, after the first is executed, immediately the second test case should be linked with it. So that interlinking, how is there any way or
No, you won't be able to connect one test case to another, but you have some like data creation in one test cases, and the same data will be used in this one. Okay, so you have to execute your test cases in a sequential manner over here. So you can add your all the test cases in a sequential manner if they are interdependent. Okay, so
okay.
it will going to execute from top to bottom.
Okay, so in sequence only we have to give.
Yes. Okay, but usually we don't create such kind of test cases because anyone can use the test cases in any order. So whatever the prerequisite will be there, we will going to add it under this only precondition. Okay, any data, specific data will be required or something like that, we will going to create in the precondition, and that data will be used in your workflow actual scenario, so that I can run my test cases in any order. If you are executing your test cases on a nightly basis, like 4 to 500 test cases are there, and and I'm executing this test case on a multiple machine. If this test case, the lower one gets executed first and the above one gets executed at the last, so it will going to fail. Okay, or else what you can do, you have to assign in a certain way that only whole test cases will get executed in that particular machine. So that will be the configuration part. So just for the best practice, just include all whatever things will be required for that particular test, include in the precondition only. Okay. Okay, anything else apart from this?
Yeah, Samir, one question.
Yeah.
So, is there any difference to automate the normal UI application and the SAP application? Because we have to scan anyways, normal UI or the SAP.
Yeah, so
Only,
SAP applications is having some standard modules, so we have to use that. Okay, and you can do the automation. So SAP application is a Windows-based application.
uh,
Okay, so we are having some standard modules of SAP as well into this, so you can use these SAP modules, login, toolbar functionality, all those. Okay,
but do we need to have the SAP knowledge for this or not
no, I
required?
don't think so. Okay, so all the data will be provided accordingly. You have to do the automation. So once you have to get aware, you have to automate any tools, so you should be having a functional knowledge. Okay, so that so SAP is also a tool application. You just have to know the basic of that SAP application, and you can perform the activity.
Uh, okay.
Okay, the application can be a healthcare domain application, it can be a entertainment media domain, or it can be a finance application domain. Okay, the application can be anything, but
Anything.
the concept should be same. Okay, you have to do the scanning, you have to, if some standard modules are already there, we have to use that standard module, and for those the standard modules are not there, you have to create it using a scanning. Or- okay.
Yep.
Okay, anything else?
Just one more thing. Today, if I scan the page, okay, I got the fields and all. I executed the test cases. Suppose after
Mhm.
2 days, I want to execute, but the test case, the test fields or drop down names have changed by the developer
Mhm.
UI. So if I execute the same test, it would fail because the names have been changed.
Yes.
So how, like, suppose there are 100 fields, then I need to go and again scan those 100 fields.
Yeah, you have to, like if the values are getting changed in the drop down values, you don't have to do that. You just have to rescan that, all the values will get updated in your drop down. Okay.
Yeah, that means I need to rescan everything, right?
Yes, you have to rescan. If any module is missing, like you forgot to add some attributes, because right now we are not adding all the attributes at the time of scanning. Whatever required, I will going to add. Like I don't want the unnecessary like visit support or search this one or icon of this one or link of this one. Okay, whenever I'm requiring something, I need to add it over there by doing a rescan.
No, I'm
Okay,
saying the same fields. Like suppose if make, they
yeah, so
have changed
same,
it to make
yeah,
one
so
or model. Mhm.
rescan it automatically. All these value, extra value will get added over there. Okay.
On top of this, Samir, we have already scanned these fields, and there are some drop down values, like 9 drop down values, and later some more drop down values are added. So will it automatically means take it when we do the automation, or we have to scan it again?
So if your ID is correct, it will definitely going to pick it up. Okay. So there are some associated ID, but the ID should be consistent only. So if I inspect this one, okay, your value will get changed, but your ID will going to remain same. So you can pass the values over there. Okay, you can see for this the ID is make. Select ID make or name is make. If I go to my modules over there, mm, for the make, and I will going to expand it from here. You can see it is using a ID as make, which is making this element as unique. If your ID will going to change, then you have to rescan it again. You can pass the value. If the values are getting changed under this one, it won't make any change because that will get added over here under your DOM section. Okay, not in the parent. If your ID gets changed from make to something else, so it will not going to recognize your element.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?